What if the British Empire never ruled over India? The sun never set on the British Empire, a dominion that spanned continents. But what if one of its brightest jewels, India, had never been under its shade? From sprawling railways to profound social reforms, the British left an indelible mark on the subcontinent. Yet, could a different destiny have awaited India without this colonial chapter? Join us as we delve into an alternate history, exploring a world where the British Empire never set foot on Indian soil. A journey of what-ifs that might just reshape how you see history. What if the British Empire never ruled over India? We'll start with the 1st century, from the late 18th century, when the British East India Company started to exert control, to the late 19th century, and then look at the effects during the 20th century. There could well have been fragmented polities. The late 18th and 19th centuries saw the decline of the Mughal Empire and the rise of regional powers. Without the British consolidating these regions, the subcontinent might have remained a mosaic of competitive and cooperative kingdoms, such as the Marathas, Sikhs, and Nizams. There would have been big differences in economic systems. The British introduced land revenue systems, like the permanent settlement, which had a long-term impact on agrarian relations. In the absence of these systems, traditional agrarian practices and feudal structures might have persisted longer, potentially affecting agricultural productivity. Social reforms would have been a lot slower. The 19th century under British rule saw significant social reforms, including the abolition of sati and the introduction of the Widow Remarriage Act. Without British intervention, these reforms might have come about differently, either emerging indigenously or taking a longer time. A change in education and language? The British introduced English and modern sciences in the Indian education system. Without their influence, traditional educational systems emphasizing languages like Sanskrit or Persian might have dominated, shaping India's intellectual trajectory uniquely. A likely delay in infrastructure development. The British initiated major infrastructural projects, especially railways. Without British rule, the development of such infrastructure might have been delayed, affecting internal trade and communication. But what would the 20th century have looked like without British rule? Political unification. As nationalist movements spread globally in the early 20th century, the various Indian polities might have sought unification independently or remained fragmented, leading to very different geopolitical dynamics in South Asia. Would it have slowed industrialization for India? The early 20th century was a time of global industrialization. Absent British economic policies, some regions of India, with their indigenous industries, might have industrialized faster, impacting global trade and economy. A difference in religious dynamics. The early 20th century saw the rise of communal politics, culminating in the partition of 1947. Without British policies accentuating religious differences, the religious makeup of the subcontinent could be different, with more syncretic traditions flourishing. A difference in contribution towards the world wars. India contributed significantly to both world wars under British command. Without British rule, the subcontinent's kingdoms or nations might have had different stances, potentially affecting the outcomes or dynamics of these wars. Potential for a change in post-colonial alliances. After World War II, newly independent nations were picking sides in the Cold War. And India, or multiple nations emerging from the subcontinent, not shaped by British colonialism, might have had different foreign policies and alliances, influencing Cold War dynamics. As much as we can think about way things could have gone different if the British Empire did not rule over India, there were some good outcomes for the people and country. There was the introduction of unified administration and legal system. Before the British Raj, India was a patchwork of princely states and kingdoms with their own systems of governance. The British established a unified administration, creating a central bureaucracy and a common legal system. While it served their colonial interests, it also brought a sense of administrative cohesion to India. A far larger railway and infrastructure program. The British laid down the foundation of India's vast railway network, which remains crucial for the country's transportation and economy today. It connected various parts of India, making trade, communication, and travel more efficient. Roads, telegraph lines, and ports also saw development. Successful and prestigious educational institutions. Many of India's prestigious educational institutions, like the University of Mumbai, University of Calcutta, and the Indian Institutes of Technology, trace their roots back to the British era. English education introduced Indians to Western science, arts, and literature. A free press and journalism. The British era saw the birth and growth of Indian journalism. The printing press allowed the spread of new ideas, and newspapers played a role in promoting nationalistic sentiments. It laid the groundwork for India's robust free press tradition. Introduction of social reforms and women's rights. The British, often due to the efforts of Indian reformers, introduced several social reforms. They abolished practices like sati, widow self-immolation, encouraged widow remarriage, and curtailed child marriage. These were significant steps in promoting human rights and women's rights. The introduction of English. English became a lingua franca in India, bridging linguistic divides. Today, it gives India an advantage in global business, science, and diplomacy, as English is a leading global language. The tapestry of history is woven with countless threads of what could have been. As we've journeyed through this alternate tale of India untouched by the British Empire, we're reminded of the profound impacts of colonialism and the enduring spirit of a nation. While the British era brought significant developments, India's essence has always been shaped by its millennia-old traditions, its people, and its innate resilience. Imagining a world without the Raj challenges us to reflect on the past, appreciate the present, and envision a future filled with boundless possibilities. If you enjoyed this journey of What If, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and thank you for watching.